Alright YouTube, so you guys probably know who WhatCulture Gaming is. I've actually done a video about them in the past where they're kind of bitching about Bethesda's review policy. They send out review copies like a day before the game releases, and they bitched and moaned because of that. They wanted their games early and they were sad and upset about it. Well, they're back on some different bullshit today. They actually did a video recently about Red Dead Redemption 2, about the entire story leaking, and there's just so many flaws and shit in this video that I just had to make a response and kind of break down some of the bullshit. So for starters, the video we're talking about today is titled Red Dead Redemption 2's full story has already leaked. And literally within the first, 20 to 30 seconds, they actually say that it's not the actual full story, it's just some of it.
There's things happening with Red Dead stuff.
Whoa.
And we were going to do a video yesterday, and then just scouring online, pretty much the whole plot of Red Dead is now out there.
Is it?
Kinda.
There, right fucking there. He says the full story is leaked. The guy that's with him in the video says, has it? And he responds with, kinda. Like, what the fuck? You entitled the video, the entire full story has already leaked. And he asks you within the first 20 to 30 seconds, and you say, kinda. It kinda has. Like, what the fuck, dude? You titled the video that the entire story is leaked, and then you started off in the video saying that, well, it kinda has. It may not be the full story. It's just a little bit of the story. Like, what the fuck, dude? Y'all were so desperate to get out this clickbait video so soon after the fucking second trailer came out. Like, this video came out the exact day after the second official trailer finally released for Red Dead Redemption 2. And I think they were just trying to hop on, like, the search of that, because, like, it was such a highly searched term at the time. Of course, after the trailer drops, there's going to be so many Red Dead Redemption 2 videos, they just had to put one out as fast as they could.
It's not the full thing, and you don't need to worry about massive spoilers here. We're not going to be talking about character deaths or anything like that. But the basic staples of what the game's going to play like, the general sense of progression, and where the game is going to go in terms of the end game, all that stuff is out there.
Again, that's not the full story. That's not even really the story. That's just like gameplay and what's going to happen a little bit in the story. Like the story leaking, the entire full story would be like play-by-play, like how the game's going to open, what we're going to do throughout the story as, Arthur Morgan, and then like the end game, the boss fight, eventually I'm assuming Arthur Morgan's going to die because he wasn't in Red Dead Redemption, which takes place obviously after this game does. So I'm assuming Arthur Morgan either leaves or dies at the end of the game. So like that's going to be the end of the game. We don't talk about anything of that in this video. Like it's not even the story remotely.
It's the Vanderlyn gang. That was one of the cool things, just from the official trailer, was that it confirmed the prequel setting. We had the younger Dutch and Abigail, if it is Abigail, we'll get to that,
right.
Says, like, oh, I'm always with you, Dutch, and she says the name.
Yeah.
Can't be him in the future because he dies in Red Dead 1.
At no point in the trailer does the chick who they're speculating if it's Abigail or not ever say Dutch's name at all, not once, because the big reveal is at the end of the trailer. There's a guy who looks like Dutch sitting in a chair and says, "Do you have my back?" And Arthur Morgan replies, "Always Dutch." Drops Dutch's name at the end of the trailer. The trailer fucking ends. I'll play you her entire dialogue from the trailer right now.
You're the only one of these fools that I trust.
Where's your money? Do you have my bag? Always, Dutch.
Right there, she has one fucking line. She says, "You're the only one of these fools that I trust." And that's fucking it, dude. Like, where did they even get this speculation that the chick said Dutch's name? Like, it's not... Did they even watch this trailer? Dutch's name is mentioned one goddamn time at the very fucking end. I swear to God, they didn't even watch the trailer. They just seen maybe some screenshots or something.
Came together was that on Reddit a few years ago, an account called Red Dead Insider posted what they said, which is obviously the name,
right?
Posted what they said was going to be the summary for Red Dead Redemption 2, and obviously everybody went, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
that's a load of bollocks.
Call your username Red Dead Insider
and just pretend.
Yeah.
But now that the new trailer's out, pretty much everything this person posted now lines up, including the fact that they predicted Arthur being the protagonist.
Look, I'm not here to necessarily discredit the leak info. Like, it's impressive that they guessed the first name of the protagonist years ago. His name's Arthur Morgan, and they guessed, Arthur all that years ago. That is impressive. I'm not here to discredit that. I'm here more so to address their video and all their information and speculation that's stupid or wrong. Their entire video is based off of these two paragraphs right here. They managed to make a 14-minute video off of 2 paragraphs of quoted dialogue. Can you goddamn believe it? This is what they're basing a 14-minute video on, this little bit right here. This, to them, confirms the entire story.
We did see that other bit in the trailer where the three of them are walking through the bayou, which again confirmed the leaked map that came out last April.
Oh yeah, I remember the map. That was good.
Yeah, and so like there was a bayou in that. New Bordeaux is mentioned in that map as well, which is also Mafia 3, which also had a bayou.
Right.
Basically, it confirms that that map that came out back then is the map that we're going to be getting.
Wait, New Bordeaux is on that map?
It's in Mafia 3 as well, yeah.
It's yeah.
I don't know why. No one knows why.
Is it meant to be the same?
I don't know, because there's no crossover. It's
no
2K
crossover,
and yeah. But
it's coincidental, maybe.
Maybe, unless I just want to like tip the nod to them.
All right, so that part is a bit of a lengthy watch, but I wanted to get their full, speculation out there so I could respond to it. Okay, the leaked map for Red Dead Redemption 2 has a location called New Bordeaux, which was a location in Mafia 3, and they're confused as to what this is because there's no crossover, when there actually is fucking crossover, because 2K Games and Rockstar Games are both owned by a parent company called Take-Two Interactive. So for them to have crossover, not that big a deal. It's no different than Activision owning all the Call of Duties, which they have crossover now and then. An example would be before Infinite Warfare came out, on the Nuketown map for Black Ops 3, whenever the end cutscene would happen and the map would blow up, you'd see a giant fucking spaceship flying in from the distance, and then you'd see characters and like symbols from Infinite Warfare prior to the game's release and stuff. So it was really cool, and that's just kind of something that can happen when you have a parent company. Yes, the Red Dead series and like Mafia 3 were made by completely different companies, but they do have a parent company that can force you to do some crossovers if they want to, or maybe Rockstar just wanted to do it. Like, it's not like they don't have any relation at all. They are owned by the same company.
All of Rockstar's names are always fictionalized anyway.
Yeah.
One of the names that was leaked back then was New Austin, as their version of Texas.
This part absolutely goddamn triggered me. So what they're talking about is the leaked map again. On the leaked map, on the bottom left, there's an area called New Austin. He's saying that was one of the leaked names for an area that's coming out. So they're trying to say that maybe New Bordeaux is no different than something like New Austin, when I guess, which fucking absolutely triggers me, they don't remember that New Austin is a location in the original game. What's supposed to be happening with this new map, it's supposed to be that you can play the original area, like the original area from the first Red Dead Redemption, but there's also going to be that top right area that's going to have, like a kind of Louisiana vibe to it, with swamps and things like that, that has a location called New Bordeaux. How do you forget that New Austin was a part of the original game? It's like they didn't even fucking play the first game. How can you have any credibility at all when you think that New Austin is a leaked name for a new area? Like, they even mentioned later on that the first map is supposed to be in this sequel, or technically a prequel, but like, how do you not remember the name New Austin from the first game? Like, it's like the major part of the game. It's where you start out, it's where you play a lot of the game, then you move down to Mexico, then eventually up to West Elizabeth. Like, it's so stupid. It's such a major part of fucking Red Dead Redemption, and like, he just thinks it's a new area.
They say that there's 5 zones to the map as well. Obviously the bayou is probably going to be one of them.
So he says right there that the map's supposed to have 5 zones, and the fact that there's a bayou on the map and a bayou in the trailer, that confirms that. But if we look here at the map, we consider the bayou right here, that's one zone, right? Then there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there's 9 zones. This doesn't count. This is from the previous game. Now, even if we count the bayou and the marsh together, because it's somewhat similar type of a looking location, that still leaves 8 different zones. So did he even look at the fucking map and count the zones?
One of the biggest things, though, which is where it starts to get really meaty, is the young dude from the middle of the trailer.
I mean, I instantly thought...
I didn't at all, but I've seen more people talk about him being John.
Yeah.
So this is the little scrawny fuck that they're talking about, and I have not heard anybody else speculate that is a young John Marston. Not one other big gaming channel at all have I heard references. They're the only ones that seem to think that this is a young John Marston. What year do they think this game fucking takes place in?
Right.
But in theory, that's young John Marston being recruited into Dutch's gang by Arthur Morgan, because the timeline sort of does match up. We know that Red Dead 1 takes place around about 1910, and he gets born in I think it's 1877, so he'd be about 20-ish. And he gets like 10 years older, puts him about 35 or whatever he is in Red Dead 1.
So very many things wrong with that scene. For starters, Red Dead Redemption takes place in 1911, not 1910. John Marston was born in 1873, not 1877. You can't even get simple dates right. Like a very simple Google search, you can just check John Marston's Wikipedia and it would tell you these things. Also, John Marston is 37 to 38 years old in Red Dead, not 35. I know they're only off by a little bit on these numbers, but all the same, very basic fucking research would tell you the facts.
So he then falls in love with Abigail. That was another thing, is that Abigail would be the person from the trailer. The thing that kind of debunks that is that her hair color is different and her eye color is different.
Oh.
But You could actually dye your hair back then, and I did Google the first contact lens, which was invented in 1887, so they could potentially be using them as well.
You gotta be fucking kidding me with that bullshit. He's trying to convince everybody that the girl on the left is the same chick on the right. The right is John Marston's wife from Red Dead Redemption, and the chick on the left is from the trailer. We don't know who she is, but he's trying to speculate that it's Abigail, which John Marston did meet Abigail as a part of Dutch's gang, but they look nothing alike. And his argument for why it is her is because hair dye and contacts existed way back then. That is the dumbest goddamn shit I ever heard.
Number one, what was it he said happened to his mum? Because she was a prostitute.
Yes.
And I think the implication was that his dad was kind of her pimp.
So, yeah, so that's one of the biggest reasons why potentially some of this isn't true, although I really want it to be, is that in the first Red Dead, when John is talking to Bonnie McFarlane, he talks about when he was brought up, and he said that his mum died during childbirth and his dad died when he was 8. And the way that he says that when he's talking to Bonnie, it seems very genuine. It feels like he's coming out of his shell.
Yeah.
So this would be a retcon.
This shit gets more absurd as we go. So we're talking about the younger dude in the trailer still that they think is young John Marston. And they're thinking in the trailer that kid's mom is mourning the death of his father. But according to the first Red Dead Redemption, John Marston's mom died at childbirth. And then at a later point, his dad died when he was like 8 years old in a bar fight. And then he went off to an orphanage, eventually escaped the orphanage years later, and joined up with Dutch Vanderlyn. So one of their arguments for why this is a young John Marston in Red Dead Redemption 2 is them retconning John Marston's like entire backstory. It's such a stupid fucking argument to even bring up at all. Is a goddamn retcon. That would defeat the purpose of them even making a prequel in the first place.
Another one of the rumors was that the whole of the first Red Dead map was going to be inside the Red Dead 2 map. If you go off the leaked map, it's pretty much the same one, obviously de-aged by a bit to remove the railways and stuff.
The railway's gone, yeah.
What the hell are either of them talking about? You can look at the map right here. Up here on the legend, it shows you the dotted line is railroads. There's dotted lines all over this map. And even when you come back to the original first area from Red Dead Redemption, there's dotted lines. It looks like probably the same railroad tracks from the first game. If you remember, there's a train going around the entire map. You could hop on it at certain like stations around the map. What are they talking about de-age? Like they seem to think that this game takes place like a long time in the fucking past. I guess before railroads were a thing, before there was fucking trains. I don't know if they remember, but in the goddamn trailer, there is a train heist going on the entire time during the second official trailer. I don't know what time frame they think this game takes place in, but there are railroad tracks everywhere, all over this fucking map.
But again, this does match up with one of the things they mentioned in the leak was that they'd pitched a version of Red Dead Redemption 2 to the higher-ups at Rockstar, and they said it was too much of the same. Right. And that's why, potentially, we haven't got a release date for it yet, and why it's always been delayed and pushed back.
It makes me so mad when there's channels this big and they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. He said maybe this is why it keeps getting delayed and pushed back. Red Dead Redemption 2 has been delayed a total of one time. We got the little like teaser picture back in 2016 with the October something date. And then when October rolled around, we got the trailer, the first trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2, and it told us that the game's coming out fall 2017. Because of some shit earlier this year, in May of 2017, we got told that it was delayed till spring of 2018. That was the only time this game has ever been delayed. But in his mind, it keeps getting delayed. It really shows you how much he's been paying attention to like the Red Dead Redemption scene and the news and shit, that he thinks it's been delayed multiple times when it's only actually been delayed once.
The only other thing that my major takeaway was that objectively it looks okay visually, like it looks good. But at the same time, you know, we had Uncharted 4 last year.
True.
I even think arguably that like Battlefront 1 Frostbite stuff looks occasionally better than some of the shots we saw in there.
This is a small one, but I just kind of had to respond to it. He's bitching about the graphics from the second official trailer, but the thing is, you got to think this game's still half a year out because it's not coming out till spring 2018. We got the trailer in September, and you're comparing an open world, what's going to be an open world game, to something like Battlefront, which is a very linear game. Like they can afford to worry about how good the graphics are because the game had like a couple of maps and like no story mode and shit. Like the game was fucking trash, dude. All they had were the graphics. And from the trailer, it definitely doesn't have bad graphics, but when you're talking about an open world game, they can't run like the best possible graphics on it and have a gigantic open world with quests and like dialogue and all this other shit. Like they gotta sacrifice somewhere, and obviously the graphics aren't as good as they could be, but they're still great.
For me, when that trailer finished, I didn't take anything major away from it. I've become more excited by looking into these potential theories and leaked things, because that gave me more of an idea of the story.
Except that it fucking didn't, because the leak isn't confirmed. We don't know that anything in that Reddit post is actually accurate, other than the fact that it got the guy's name right. You got the name Arthur right. Good on him, but that doesn't confirm a goddamn thing. And he said he didn't take anything major away from the second trailer, except that the second trailer showed us that Dutch is back, confirmed that it's a prequel, told us who we're playing as. It showed us new locations, weapons, animals. Like, what are you fucking talking about?
That would make sense that the game isn't in the best state, and that's probably why we haven't got a release date yet.
Yeah.
So
it's looking like it's going to be a 2018 game. There's not a lot of time left for them to get there.
Well, it's definitely 2018, but they haven't narrowed down like a particular quarter or anything like that.
This was absolutely one of the funniest parts of their video at the very end. Let me show you guys something really quick. So the guy on the left, Peter, says it's looking like it's going to be a 2018 game. Well, no fucking shit. And the guy on the right, Scott, says, oh, it's definitely going to be a 2018 game, but they haven't narrowed it down to a specific quarter yet, except that they fucking have. Did either of these guys watch the fucking trailer? At the very end of the trailer, you're seeing it on screen right now. It quite literally says Spring 2018. That is confirming it's 2018 game, Peter, and Spring is confirming which quarter it is in. Scott, y'all are both fucking idiots, and you don't deserve your job. Anyways, guys, that is my response to their video. They're quite literally just retarded and don't know what the hell they're talking about in the goddamn slightest. Maybe stick to the wrestling shit that you and the rest of WhatCulture do, because that seems to be the only thing you know anything about. I certainly wasn't planning on the video being this long, but that's just how it goes sometimes. I responded to more than I planned, and my responses were longer than I planned, and it just makes the video longer than I want it to be. Usually my longer videos don't do that well, but whatever. I just wanted to respond to that shit. Again, I think they just want to get this clickbait video out as fast as possible. They didn't do any really proper research. We didn't even respond to everything in the video. Again, it was a 14-minute video. If we responded to every fucking thing, there's no telling how long this video would have been. Maybe an hour. If you guys happen to make it this far, let me know your thoughts below on this topic. What do you think of WhatCulture Gaming being fucking trash at really just talking about video games in general, which is what their entire channel is based around, but they're apparently pretty bad at it. Anyways, if you went on to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter at @the_David. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
yeah.
For now, watch this space. We'll keep you posted with all the Rockstar news. Yeah.
So
it's looking like it's going to be a 2018 game. There's not a lot of time left for them to get there.
Well, it's definitely 2018, but they haven't narrowed down like a particular quarter or anything like that.
All the things that we thought we were losing. I'm a ghost and you know this. That's why we broke up in the first place.